If you're wondering what it's like to be a clown, come with me on this magical journey as I go through my full Juggalo transformation on my tour with ICP. And in the middle of an episode, we welcome a guest that we hope doesn't have a cursed life for the rest of their existence. Ryan Rainbro, very famous, as he prepares to go on tour with Metallica tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to hear from Ryan Rainbro. And also, I leave in the middle of the episode, and it's just Peter and Ryan talking, and that's probably the best part of the show. There's a great story in there. weekendateffys.com for the Patreon. Leave a review or leave a mean review or share or tweet or follow, whatever you do. However you want to participate. We need to see you. Give us a kiss. Go to the Patreon and listen to this episode. It's Weekend at Effy's, and I just need you to know something, Peter. There ain't no cure for the Juggalo blues. That's what I got. I got the Juggalo blues this week. We're back. We were gone.
Yeah.
Do you think it was? I don't think it was mentally beneficial for me to not record a week of podcast with you, just because I need an hour to center myself. Is that fair to you that I'm treating this?
It is. It's become the anchoring point of my week.
Yeah, I need it. There was a point where I texted you last week while I was in the middle of this Juggalo tour, and I think you thought it was over for me. Like I was losing my mind. And you were like, and I might have been. I don't know. I don't even really remember what I said. It's been such an adventure, and I feel like I've learned so much this week that I would have never learned otherwise. And I feel like I've made a lot of new friends, and I've seen the country even more than I've seen it before. And I just want to say, the only way you're going to get to watch these vlogs, and the only way you're going to see all of this, you just sent me some of the chicken pictures with the dogs and whatnot, and me being cute, very cute, throwing a chicken, is to get on our Patreon. I don't know how to tell you this, but yeah, I have a whole new vlog out. This is my second vlog in the month of May. And here's the thing, I'm feeling motivated by it. I want to hear what you have to say about the video adventures I go on. I want to make sure I didn't slip in anything I shouldn't have. And I want you to see the world through my eyes. I don't want to curate the world. I want to just, there it is. There's the world. And then I want to stack it up and let you see everything that I saw that was important. And the only way to do that is to go to weekendateffys.com. If you're listening to this early, that's because you have a Patreon subscription. It's built into your Spotify and Apple Music, Peter, as question mark? Do they get it early?
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. Yeah. And also you're going to get the mini-sodes. And we just did a watch-along of Final Destination 2 that has just been released. We have watch-alongs of all of them. We still have not watched the fifth. And my good friend Ryan Rainbro, very famous, he also does the Meep Meep podcast, which I think is I don't know if it's exclusively a Roadrunner Records podcast, but I know that's the theming of the name, Meep Meep, because that's the sound a Roadrunner makes. So it's Roadrunner.
It's hilarious.
Okay. He said to me and confirmed, isn't it funny how they've been released in the order of how bad they are? Which means this next one's going to be even worse. And I don't know, I'm hearing fun things. Kevin Bacon said some fun things about the new Final Destination 6. He went to see it with his wife, Kira Sedgwick, who you may remember from such acting roles as, I don't fucking know, Kira Sedgwick, whatever. They loved it. They thought it was great. So Kevin Bacon was in Footloose and Tremors. So, you know, being something memorable for me.
David Sims of The Atlantic says best of the franchise with
Best?
Bloodlines.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, Ryan hasn't seen the new one, so we are still confirming. We have pre-recorded Final Destinations 1 through 4. 2 have been released. The 5th, though, we have yet to record because we were losing our minds with the amount of Final Destination. Peter, is there something you want to share with the class?
This is the best thing that anybody has ever said about the Final Destination series. Final Destination Final Destination is if one of those, and that's why you always leave a note, life lessons from Arrested Development were a feature-length movie.
Good. I want to see people die.
People that watched Arrested Development will get that joke.
I want to see people die. You know, here's the thing about Arrested Development. There's too many jokes.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember all of them.
You want to do we got to do hot takes today because whenever we do really hot takes, there's more listenership, right? So we have to be controversial.
Yeah,
controversial take.
Your shirt off.
my Rush shirt. Controversial take number 1 of the show today. Arrested Development. Too many jokes. Too many bits. You can't have that many bits in one show. It's too many things to reference. I blew myself? Come on.
Yeah.
It's one too many.
Yeah.
How much could a banana cost, Michael? $10? There's money in the banana stand. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gene Parmesan.
Yeah.
Loose seal.
A loose seal.
Loose seal. Okay, so too many bits.
Look what I won from Army, mother. Buster's my favorite.
Okay, I don't want to jump. I have so much adventure to go over this week, Peter. And sometimes I'm just going to be honest, okay? I don't know if the fans at home feel this way. Sometimes when I'm going through my adventures, I feel like, wrap it up, loser. But this week, it is a whole new adventure.
Sometimes you do fast. So, okay, you know what? Let's hot take. Here's a hot take.
All right.
Sometimes you tell me a better version of the story before it gets on the podcast.
All right. In what instance would you? But sometimes I can't include everything in the story.
No, I'm not even talking
Okay.
about. I'm not even talking. Of course, everything is in full plain view. It's the exact same story. It's you. Sometimes I do, and I hate. I guess this is because we've commodified a relationship in a way.
Good to see you, coworker.
The excitement that you bring to the first version of the story.
So you think we should talk less because then if I'm just telling you here, it's better?
I think
I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm just saying
no. I think you need to save. We'll figure. This is something we'll figure out.
Yeah, we can expand upon it and figure it out.
Yeah.
Listen, guess what? In life, we're all just figuring it out.
And it's not always that's not always the case.
You know, when Eve made a mistake in the Garden of Eden, she had everything taken from her. But luckily, we're a little more forgiving here than God. Okay, what a dick. All right, we don't even know what the forbidden fruit was. You think it was rimming? You think he was cool with everything but rimming?
We have a little sign that we put up at the register at work where we'll ask people a question. And it was for about 2 weeks, it was the one gorilla versus 100 men.
Right.
Which people were very normal about. And then this past week, they did gay son or thought daughter.
Yeah.
And you know what we found out? Everybody hates women in bottoms.
Wow. Okay, so they were saying gay son if he's not a bottom? Can I just say hot take? You ready for it? You ready for the hottest take? All right?
Yeah.
Bottoms are the only gay people I do like. And it's not because they have sex with their butts, okay? That's not it at all. These fucking DL loser married on the low, don't tell nobody, straight guy fantasy, even the ones that want to be bottoms that are living in this, the theory of that sounds like fun and enticing because as homosexuals, especially, the idea of sex being in secret or taboo has always been the nature of it. So these things sometimes are fine because the nature of a secret can be interesting or exciting in that way. But they never clean themselves up. They're always horrible. They never know what's going on. They can never meet. They always want to go to their car. Bottoms who are feminine presenting gay, loud gay bottoms, big, loud, femme gay, drag brunch, girl serve it, do your twirl. She's wearing heels on a Friday in her Daisy Dukes. That's the gay people I like because they know how to be gay. They prepare ahead for it. And you don't have to hide in the Burger King parking lot to be gay with them. So to me, over time, that has become so much more attractive than anybody who's just I like dudes, but I'm not like a flamer or anything. No, dude, go fuck yourself. You should hope your son is a responsible bottom who is clean and beautiful and fashionable and smells nice and knows about sexual health and prep and getting tested and requiring partners to do the same. That's the better situation because your thought daughter, I don't really want grandkids and I can't have them from thought daughter. Gay son, you can try to get that boy pregnant as much as you want. No chance. You can even tell him that's your intention as a way of play talking. And guess what? Not happening. Can't grow. You can't grow sod in that field. Okay. So there's a hot take. We're getting crazy today. I can already tell. This is going to be an out of control episode. We're going to be discussing so much, but let's not forget the most important reason we're here, our super Patreon listeners. And I urge you, if you've been on our Patreon, if you've been around it, re-up your subscription. Join us for the first time. Maybe we got to do a special secret giveaway or something. I don't know. But the people that are asking questions of us, of me, of we, they are going to be, they're going to be from our Patreon. That's it. That's the only people we're letting ask questions. The rest of you, like, get in line. I'm sorry. I'm not answering that, especially not publicly. And I do want to say second, as a plea before we get to questions, this is my final advertising bit for the run. Next week, this will be the last episode released to the public before my birthday. My birthday is June 7th. I have one wish. Okay. This is a greedy, stupid, selfish wish. Here's what I want. I do them all year. I do cameos all year for other people's birthdays. My cameos are dirt cheap right now. I want y'all to make me do cameos for my own birthday. Okay? You can request anything. I got to do it. It's my birthday. But these, I want you to buy me a cameo for my birthday, and then I'll watch it later to give myself courage. How's that sound, Peter? Psychotic?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Great. So buy me a cameo, cameo.com/EffyLives. But if you're at weekendateffys.com, if you're our Patreon subscribers, you can ask questions here, which is sort of like getting a public cameo because I got to answer everything legally or I'll be put back in the prison.
And to be clear, that's not buy Effy a random cameo
No.
like Fred Durst
buy a
or
cameo
something.
from Effy
To
celebrating Effy that I will record celebrating my own birthday.
From Effy to Effy.
Right. Thank you for being Effy. I'll thank my fucking self. Love you all. Okay, so what's the...
Okay, let's start off with a firecracker of a question. This is from Julie. I will be living alone for the first time ever next month. Any advice?
Yes. I haven't lived alone in a long time by choice and by, I don't know, some necessity, but some choice. When I was living alone, I found that I just won't go outside or see people. It's all kind of like it's there. Like I'll go to work, I'll do what I have to do. Then I come home and it's just like that. And then like there's so much less motivation. I have clothes on my bed right now that I need to put up. I did some laundry. That's great. That's responsible. You have to do that. But when you just live alone, there's no one ever there to tell you, you should probably get this together. And then, like, if you do bring someone there, it's your house, so you can hide shit everywhere and just, like, quickly make occasion for someone to come over and then go back to just being whatever you are. So if it's in your mental health to have a clean and tidy home, stay on yourself about it because it's very easy to just go, like, when you're living alone. When you have another person there, you're at least, like, aware that, like, someone else has to live there. Like, that's why I don't poop on the floor, Peter. Because if you weren't here, who fucking knows?
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
I let those dogs get filthy today, though. And I sprayed them down and I wiped them and I swept the whole back. And it's gonna be something we deal with. But you know what? They gotta get out there with these birds. Yeah. And I cleaned up a lot of poop and there's still some poop. That's life. You know? We don't have the luxury. Chickens don't have the luxury that we have. Our poop, gone. Bye. Where are they going to put it? All right, they don't know how to use the toilet.
Little chicken toilets.
They have 3 toes and a big weird thing on the back. They don't know how to do that. I got to sweep that poop. All right, great question.
Yeah, I would say if you don't already, talk to yourself. I think talking out loud to yourself is one of the healthiest things you can do, especially because I did a stint for a few years living by myself, and I feel like that was just I don't know, like, you don't want to get too lost in, just the space.
Yeah. I would say
easier to do.
Some days when I'm traveling, especially, like there will be moments where like by the time I get picked up at the airport or even after that, like I get to the venue, that's the first time I'm like talking to someone throughout the day. And that can be very jarring to enter like a public situation. So I like that idea of talking to yourself. And also, there is separation between your speaking voice and your auditory systems. So sometimes just hearing things out loud can kind of complete the thought for you too. Whereas if it just stays in here, it never goes through any out filtration process. So even though you're not like talking to someone else, I'll talk to your dogs all day. I'll talk to the dogs about figuring out what do we got to do.
Yeah.
And that's helpful because you're just hearing at least the sound bounce out. And invite people over. If your space is a place for friends, then it's going to be a more welcoming place. You don't always want to have to think about your place as just like a solo endeavor, even if you're solo. And also take off your clothes and lay on the couch and eat snacks and make a mess, because fuck yeah. You may be one of the last generations to live without roommates. It's over. It's never been more over. The economy is seizing, and you can't even make a film anymore. David Lynch couldn't even make a film before he died, I just found out, on the mini-show this week. So think about that.
Why is she crying, baby?
Because she knows how much fun we're having over here. She's had a gallop of fun today. I will say they probably would like to go on a little late night chatter walk.
Let's do it. Yeah.
It's.
I think I would like that too.
Yeah, I think it's good for them.
Okay, so speaking of the mini-sode, let's do a movie question.
Perfect.
Thank you, Julie. It'll be weird, but it will be awesome.
It will be weird and awesome, and just like take both in at once. And you never have to feel wrong about, like, even if everything's right, you're like, I got my ice cream, I got my movie, I got my couch, and it feels weird. That's okay too.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it's get on AOL Instant Messenger, and you can meet people anywhere around the world connected by the internet, and they can become your friends.
Okay, this is from Danny. Recommend a vampire film I might not have seen yet.
Have you seen The Little Vampire with Jonathan Lipnicki?
Oh my God.
It's a hilarious tale of... I don't know. We talked about it on the mini-sode, but I really enjoyed. It's not technically even really a vampire movie, but The Vampire Shadow, which is the Willem Dafoe doing Max Schreck in Nosferatu acting movie, is really fun and like still captures that way of filmmaking that was sort of, it seemed like at the time when they were making films like Nosferatu, it was just like swinging by the seat of our fucking ass.
Right.
Which is awesome because it's just like, no, our job's to get the film done. Like, whatever the fuck happens, we have to get the film done. And that energy and sort of the weirdness of the whole role really comes through. I'm trying to think of I love the new Interview with the Vampire series. I haven't watched the newest season, but I watched the first 2, I think, seasons. And that's really fun. They're gayer in that show than they are in the movie. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, if you're going to do Shadow of the Vampire, then I'm going to do another weird meta one and watch Irma Vep.
Okay, yeah, that is a weird film, Peter. I'm glad you brought it up.
Did we not talk about that?
I don't know if we did talk about Irma Vep on the mini-sode. It was fun. Did you know if you rearrange the letters in Irma Vep,
spells vampire.
Spells vampire. And that's why
they got married. They got married.
Did
because
they?
Of that. Yeah, Maggie Chung and the director got married to each other.
Oh my God. They came out of that and were like, this is going to work for us?
It's similar to Paul Giamatti marrying his dominatrix from Ballers or whatever the fuck that shit was.
I mean, you meet the right girl who knows how to push your buttons. Did you ever see the scene with Triple H? I showed it to you, right? Triple H, we've got to figure this out. Oh, I understand. You got to turn a babyface heel and a heel baby. First, you got to let the babyface get his shine. I can't watch Billions now because of that one scene existing.
Yeah.
Hunter. He calls him Hunter. The man's name is Paul Levesque. All right. Hot take. I'm not calling Triple H Hunter at any point in my life. I don't care if I'm working for the man. I hope I'm probably not, but I don't. Who knows what will happen in this economy? I'll tell you this: if you guys don't want me to work for Triple H, sign up for the Patreon because like they're gonna buy me eventually. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But the man's name is not Hunter. He played a character called Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who's known as Triple H. The man's name is Paul Levesque. He's a Canadian who used to play a silly blue-blooded Connecticut man. Y'all calling him Hunter is so weird. It's a fake name. He's a CEO of a business named Paul. That's his name. stop calling him Hunter. That's like if I just went around calling Ian, what's his name? Ian McKellen. If I was just like Magneto, Gandalf. Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing a play with Gandalf. I don't know if you guys heard. Going to be on the same cast as Gandalf. I don't know. Maybe was he listed as Paul Levesque or Paul Triple H Levesque when he was in what's the movie where he's on the field trip with the kids?
Well, I don't.
And he has a ponytail. And he's like, what's it called when a parent goes on a field trip?
Chaperone?
Yeah, the chaperone. The chaperone, I think is what the movie it's called.
Okay.
And it's not good. Triple H and the chaperone, was he listed as Triple H?
I don't. Not the 2008 film. The 2011. Oh, goodness. He is billed as Paul Levesque. Triple H is the chaperone.
Paul Levesque Triple H is Chapel Road. Hottogo. We're cool with the kids now. He is a girl dad, so he probably knows a few song and dance routines. But yeah, a child's film star, Paul Levesque. Paul Levesque Triple H. At no point do they call him Hunter, though. Hunter. I'm Hunter. That's not a real person's name that he's ever been.
Review. Triple H on autopilot in bland WWE product, The Chaperone.
I thought it was fun. Did you ever see The Tooth Fairy 2 starring Larry the Cable Guy after The Rock did not return to the role?
Oh, that's crazy. Directed from the guy that directed Bill and Ted's Wait, what? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Critters, The Three Musketeers, and Mr. Holland's Opus?
Mr. Holland's Opus isn't that movie really sad?
In like
1994.
Subpar.
What does this guy do? It's subpar. Is that who's? It doesn't matter.
That's my opinion.
I don't give a fucking shit.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss. What happened to that guy? Dead?
Oh, do you not know?
Oh no, I don't know.
Oh, he just went full like Republican brain rot.
Oh yeah,
job.
Dead.
Yeah.
All right, sick. Good for you, Richard Dreyfuss. You fucking loony bin loser. All right, hot fucking take, brother. Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, we have. Why do chicken coops have 2 doors?
I don't know.
Because if it had 4 doors, it would be a chicken sedan.
Oh, it's a car joke. You ever listen to Car Talk?
No.
One of them died and then it was over. But then they referenced him in the Cars universe. No, did not die in a car.
Oh.
Died of cancer. Oh. I think colon or...
You know, they say cancer is the car accident of the...
That's why I was glad I was born a little earlier because I'm a Gemini. Is that fucked up?
No, I didn't have an ending to my joke, so you saved me.
I saved it. Listen, I'm a 1-2 punch over here. I know what I'm doing. Now, I didn't know what I was doing last week because, Peter, I don't know if you know this. I was living on a tour bus for the first time in my life. I've experienced a lot of things in wrestling and in music and travel, but never have I lived on a bus. It was a real fascinating adventure. But do you know, is that the last question?
Yeah.
Do you know what I did to start my trip on the bus? I rode a bus. We were looking at flights to get to Spartanburg, which, as you know, is 3-ish hours from here. And the flights were going to be like over $250. And it was going to take me longer to go to the airport than get on the plane, then go fly, then Uber to the place. When the Greyhound was $39, had free Wi-Fi and chargers, and dropped me off 8 minutes from the venue in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and took a grand total of 4 hours with 3 stops. It was awesome. I am not paid or sponsored by Greyhound, but I just want to be perfectly clear when I say that shit fucking ruled. All right, we may have a guest in the middle of this.
Okay.
He'll be quiet, or he won't. I told him he can't be on the podcast because it's cursed. Every time we have a guest, it's cursed.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, I'll try to break it," and that's like, Ouija Max said that too. He was like, I'll come on there. I'll come talk on your podcast and it'll be fine. And I was like, Ouija, you have like a world tour coming up. We're talking ankle injuries, knee injuries, people having to go to jail, It
hurts the podcast not to have guests. I don't know.
But I also don't want to like hurt people's lives.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to draw you into something.
Take the curse seriously.
We are spiritually jilted or something that makes it in a way where we are only the ones allowed to communicate here. Who do you think could break the curse?
Triple H.
You mean Hunter?
Yeah.
Either way, okay. So first I want to say this. I wrestled in a building 10 minutes from my old house where I grew up, the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium, and it's the year 2025, right? Like it's almost June of 2025. Ricky Morton walked in this building and said, whew, wrestled here my first time in 1985. And then come to find out this building has had professional wrestling in it since 1951. Jesus. So I am now adding to a 74-year legacy of wrestling being in the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium. And if you watch the vlog, you can see it. The amount of like touring national Broadway acts that come through this building, like clearly it's the Fox Theater of the area, but we're obviously doing ICP and wrestling, which is just as valid as Cats Live, Bear in the Big Blue House. Sesame Street Live was there. I think that's important. Care Bears Live. Hamilton. Mean Girls, the musical. You remember that?
I do remember that.
Did you watch the movie?
I did not watch the movie.
It's not good.
I lived it.
So your whole life story is... So with Lindsay Lohan on a comeback, do you think it's going to give you
also
additional
Parent
strength?
Trap? I did Parent Trap. That's basically my life too.
When I found out there was only one of them, I felt like I was getting scammed. Okay? Y'all promised me 2 Lindsay Lohans. Do you think there's been 2 Lindsay Lohans? That was
a loss of innocence for me, finding out that it was...
But do you think there were 2 at one point and they Bo's afraided one into an attic?
Yeah, 100%.
And they just bring out one?
I mean, that little girl had her head on a rock. Like, we know for sure.
Damn. Had to put her inside. Yeah, no, there was only ever one. What about no, not there's no Linda Lohan.
Is that Nancy Meyer?
Nancy Meyer? She hit her head on a rock?
No, the who directed the Parent Trap? Yeah, Nancy Myers.
So she also directed Finding Nemo? That's Brad Bird, right?
Such classics as
who wrote Twilight then?
Who wrote Twilight? So she wrote All the Father of the Brides.
Oh yeah.
She did The
There's
Intern.
4 of
It's
those,
Complicated.
right?
The Holiday. Something's Gotta Give. What Women Want.
So she's a real rom-comma.
Mm-hmm.
But why did The Parent Trap is not? I guess it is.
It was her first movie.
Holy shit! It is a rom-com because it's about the parents.
Yeah.
It's their trap. Oh my God, we got tricked into thinking that's not fair.
It's Dennis Quaid.
Is he? Oh yeah.
He's the
and
dad.
Who's the mom?
Natasha Richardson.
Oh, she fell off. What happened to Natasha Richardson? Does she do Head and Shoulders commercials now?
Her last movie was 2010.
Damn, baby, that's 25 years ago. It's 15, but I get in Hollywood time, it's 25.
She is no longer with us.
All right, really sorry to hear about Natasha Richardson. Really tragic here, and always been a huge fan of her work. And it's so... This is like when I found out 6 years late that Maya Angelou, I'd been referencing a lot of Maya Angelou, not alive.
Oops. That was Liam Neeson's wife.
Oh,
shit.
They took her?
No, she hit the tree skiing.
Oh, yeah. That's, the old Sonny Bono.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough. Mm-hmm. And that's why I stopped skiing. I didn't, though, actually. I've been itching to get back on the ski pumps. But the global warming is making skiing, I'm going to have to learn to water ski again. I haven't water skied since I was 12. I'm sure I could do it, but I don't think I'd be good at it right away. I don't think I'd be a maverick skier, but I can get down a mountain of snow. That's for sure. And if you can do it on a little bit of the shiitakes. That's how you really find out if you're in tune with your physical form. Okay. So I'm in Spartanburg. The first tour we did with the Juggalos, there was no Violent J. It was technically, there was no Shaggy 2 Dope. It was just Violent J. Mm-hmm. This is an ICP show, and there's one staggering difference, which is the Faygo. And they go through, I looked at it, they have an 18-wheeler that has their 2 giant lit hatchet men, the 3 ICP lit things, and then the rest of it is pallets of Faygo. And I'm telling you, it's hundreds of bottles per night that are just sprayed out, and it's so esoteric and makes no sense. And the longer the tour went on, like, I can't imagine it makes any sense to any members of ICP anymore, and I love that for them, but they just do it. And then in the middle of the set, they'll do what's called the Faygo break, probably 3 times, where they all do a children's dance about Faygo and just start dumping buckets of them on people and then spray more Faygos. I want to get into this deep, though, because I had a long conversation with some ICP historians, one of whom is coming in here, but just watching the guys do it. And I will say this. One of the tricks that I asked the guys, I'm not going to name who it was, I said, you guys have so many tricks with the Faygo, right? Because there's just hundreds of bottles, 2-liter bottles of diet Faygo. Now, what I've heard is they only use the diet so it doesn't get everything sticky. Like, it's already going to be wet.
Yeah.
But the diet is not going to ruin the floor. It's not going to leave you sticky. Yeah. It's just you're wet and you smell like cola.
Yeah.
So it's all diet cola. I've heard they'll use the diet root beer too. There's one set they do at the gathering where they do diet red pop. So the whole crowd turns red. And then for the Halloween Hallowicked show, everything is orange pop, but it's diet still. They fling them in such a way to where they can shoot them like rockets. And the first 2 shows that we were on were indoor shows. And people kept saying, if you think this is impressive, wait till you see them outside when there's no roof and they can just send these motherfuckers flying. The tricks that they will do. So they're both wearing the same outfit every night, which is very it's clean. It's good to me. They have these basketball or baseball gloves on, and so they'll hold the bottle and then they flick it with the side of their hand, the knife edge. That would be like a knife edge chop in wrestling. I'm gonna chop you with the side of my hand. And then they'll plug it, start shaking it. And my favorite one that Violent J does is he just flicks his body and it goes over the back of his head and will fly so many feet. You think you're in the back of the room and you're safe from the Faygo? You're fucking not. The Faygo's coming straight at you. 2-liter bottle. The thing is, the further back you are, the less soda there is when it gets there. Mm-hmm. But some of those people in the first few rows are getting pelted with full 2 liters. And sometimes it's just by accident. Like, it's just the way it shoots off. But there's one trick I saw where they flick it and they shake it up like normal, but they do a side toss kind of low. And that thing sort of pinballs everyone in the area. And I said, do you know what you're doing? And he said, no, I would never do that on purpose. But I'm watching these guys land these. And the fans love it though. The fans want to get hit with them. Like, this is at no point like a problem for them. Some people get a little too lost in the Faygo, but they are firing them on all cylinders. And here's why they're the greatest. At the end of the show, you're thinking to yourself all night, how crazy would it be to spray this crowd with Faygo? If you upgrade your ticket to the VIP, you can join the Faygo Armageddon, which is when you get on stage with Faygo at the end of the show in the last song, and there's like 50 people on stage with Faygo, all spraying Faygo on the crowd and themselves. And it's every night, Peter. It's every night. And it's so fascinating because it's not just the Insane Clown Posse that is covered in Faygo. They have a whole crew of people that are dressed as clowns and minions and toys and exotic creatures. It is straight up like Yo Gabba Gabba on pure form LSD, firing through your brain, just like mainlined, hard, crazy, covered in Faygo. And it's casual every night, and he made a great point where he was like, yeah, but like if you go see Guar, you get covered in fake blood. And if you go see ICP, you get covered in Faygo. And you start to realize these fans are like psyched. They're so psyched. This is an hour every night where there's just Faygo everywhere. And I'm thinking, this is where I know I'm not a true star, right? I wish I was. I try so hard. But to be a true star, you go to a venue like we went to the second day of the tour called the Fillmore in Charlotte. Now, I remember this venue, and it's a 3 venue. So there's the regular venue, and then the amphitheater in the back. The amphitheater in the back, I think, has hosted some great acts, but I saw Kesha inside on the first tour she was doing because I promised to DD these girls to the Kesha concert sober because they had helped me out one night when I was not. So I said, I will DD you guys to and from Charlotte. It's an hour drive there, hour drive back. So I'd been in this venue for Kesha before. We get there at 1 p.m. to this venue. I'm hopping off the bus because I'm a bus guy now. We'll talk more about the bus in a minute. They have started covering the entire venue. Oh, this is perfect. You're coming at the right time. Ryan Rainbro, very famous from the Meep Meep podcast, coming to join us. Do you know about the curse? Are you scared of the curse? Which curse are we talking about? We're talking about the curse of anyone on our podcast has their life ruined. I've been told about it. You have been told. But I have no fear. Have y'all ever met? Y'all have met?
Briefly.
Yeah. Okay. She wants your attention. So we're talking about the Fillmore. This is how I know I'm not a real star, right? Instead of asking ICP, hey guys, this is a really nice building with chandeliers and mirror walls and gold paint, and it's really beautiful flooring. Could you guys not spray 500 to 800 bottles of Faygo on our building? Instead of doing that, they go, no, we're going to need to plastic wrap this entire building, top to bottom. We need people here at noon. And those large chandeliers, I'm not going to not aim at them. So you need to go ahead and hang up some rugs in front of them because I'm aiming directly at them. I hope I hit them.
My God.
The whole speaker system, the whole wall, everything in this building had to be completely just saran wrapped top to bottom. Just because they were like, yeah, no, fuck you, we're doing Faygo, and that's what the people want to see. And the venue's like, yeah, I guess we got to cover all of our expensive equipment. Otherwise, we're not allowed to have this concert, which is crazy. Now, Ryan Rainbro, very famous, who's here with me, was there that day at the show. And I'm going to try to find a way to float you in here. I do want to say this because I'm going to brag to my friend right here. This is the second time of Mice and Men has had to play in the smaller venue because Effy was wrestling in the big room. And the second time that the event Effy was on was sold out. So shout out whatever remaining members of this Attack offshoot are still left. But guess what? They didn't say hey to me. And guess what? You only get one chance with the big daddies, okay? Maybe I am a real star. Maybe I am. Can you imagine just you have to cover you have to condom your whole venue because you're just like, hey guys, could you maybe it's just like a no, maybe tonight's a no Faygo. And they're like, nope, cover everything you care about.
Wow.
They then kept the merch line going that night in Charlotte. An hour and 40 minutes after the venue had closed them for the noise ordinance being on. They kept the venue line open the whole way. Welcome back. This is throwing off my train of thought entirely. It's good to see you. How was your date?
Well, tell me about the other time that Mice and Men had to play in the smaller building.
So the other time was in Arizona. This is when I think Austin Carlisle was still in the band. We're going to have to double check this.
I sure do.
Peter's very aware. Peter's in the know. Peter used to hang out with the guy who sang Emily from First to Last.
We're talking about Sonny Moore, or we're talking about Matt Good, or who are we talking
Talking about Sonny Moore.
Sonny Moore.
They were tight for a second. It got weird down there at the district. You know what I mean? Shout out district. I made William Goodman drive me home after I blacked out there. I think at a Skrillex no, it's a venue here. I blacked out there on some form of, it doesn't matter. We're sharing too much now. Of Mice and Men, this was in Arizona. This was at the Mesa Theater. They played downstairs in the basement, and upstairs was sold out for Party Hard Wrestling. And I was doing my best. I think I fought a Power Ranger in a hardcore match. So, like, step your pussy up of Mice and Men. If me fighting a Power Ranger can, like, triple outsell you, what are you doing? Like, take it back to the drawing board. You can't be that good right now, you know?
So at the Fillmore, they condomed the venue.
They condomed the venue at the Fillmore. I did wrestle my match. This is the thing.
Do we want to attempt fate here?
Yeah, should we?
Switch out.
Come on in.
You want me to?
Yeah, you're coming in. We're joint. Oh, Lucy. Lucy, you were cuddling all over him earlier. This is great. Just hop in here. Ryan Rainbro, very famous. I'm joined currently by Ryan Rainbro. You are tempting fate. I don't want to go over. Maybe I should.
You're going to give me a whole recap of everything I missed?
No. I'm going to just tell you that in 4 instances of us having a guest, within a few months, their life is not good.
Well, my life is already pretty bad. So.
All right, we gotta get you to suck this dick.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay.
All right, we're here now. Now you were with me. You came out to show support and hang out in Charlotte when we were there.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on ICP and their seemingly new fan base that has somewhat emerged?
Yeah, it was very interesting for me as a person who's seen them so
Get
many
right
times.
up on there. Get right. Yeah.
Very interesting for me as someone who's seen them many times because it was so many young people. Normally, I'm used to the thing about ICP shows for me, and I'm not. Hey, I'm down with the clown. All right?
Yeah, you've been down with the clown since I've known you, right?
Yeah, so
which is like I was 18, maybe 19 when we were first allowed to be around each other.
the court order was dropped.
Many people were nervous when we first met. I can remember specifically them being like, "It's too much at once." This isn't good.
Even recently, Darren Young, knowing that we worked together, was like, "Oh, okay, well."
Shout out Darren Young. What's up, bro?
Yeah, mad respect to Darren Young. But I say that to say that normally when I go to Insane Clown Posse shows, even as recently as like 10 years ago, I was with Payable on Death, POD. And they were opening, and it was like people that I would never hang out with outside of that show that I love singing songs
like
with.
We're together for that moment, but we're probably not gonna.
Right, but I love that moment. But this show was like young, good-looking people that like knew songs that were kind of after my time, you know?
Yeah.
That I guess are popular on the TikTok.
Yeah, so they discussed this, and they were like, "Listen, like." After Joe had some health concerns and
Joe
Shaggy was doing his
Violent
thing,
J.
Violent J, and I think they were going to really take back the touring. But as his health has improved, he's been doing the wrestling stuff. As Shaggy has seen the interest grow, they are selling out every night now. And most of these people, they're yelling out in the middle of the show, "Who's seeing us for the first time?" This is a band that's been around since '92, the Inner City Posse, and there's half the room or more is screaming this is the first time they've seen them because so many new people have found them on TikTok, and they're like, we're worried the old juggalos aren't going to take them in. But I'll tell you what, it seemed like pretty good vibes everywhere we went.
I was happy to have them for sure. And not only that, but on top of the new fans being, it's just that everything is so cyclical that people that maybe would have made fun of ICP 20 years ago, now it's like cool to like ICP. So like normies will be like, oh, I want to go. Even like outside of the knowledge of TikTok, ICP is such a pop culture phenomenon. So was that interesting for you to be literally in the opening band, really? For ICP?
Yeah, truly the opening band for ICP. It's so fascinating because like, for as chaotic as they appear on the outside, and if you look at like the history, you'd be like, weren't they a gang with the FBI? And weren't they like they're from the outside? They want it to seem like a very crazy place to go, and it is. But also, it's one of the most professionally run shows for a show that just features them dumping that much soda on kids. This thing runs like a machine. Like they put up those times every night, and I'm from wrestling. I'm not used to the times ever being hit. But every night it'd be like, here's their time, here's this time, here's that time, here's cutoff time. Everything would be hit. Everybody knew their spots. Everybody knew their role. Everybody knew to get the fuck out of the way so the Fago could come through. And it's like to see this finely oiled machine be behind sort of the most chaotic thing on stage. It's kind of like a magical trick.
And since you are a wrestler in this show, I assume appeals to wrestling fans. Have you discussed on this show here what a wrestling historian Violent J is? I mean, he knows about wrestling more than most people.
The thing with Violent J is he won't lean on his previous endeavors. Like he was talking to me, he was like, they don't see Juggalo Championship Wrestling as a real wrestling company. They see us as like a sideshow. And he's like, and I'm putting out a real TV show every week. I'm doing real production. I'm running real shows. And I'm like, Jay, you can't worry about what they think. this is one of the only people that's ICP was in WWF, they were in ECW, they were in WCW, they were in TNA, they were in Ring of Honor. The only show they haven't been on is AEW, and like I'm sure we're one more ratings drop away from making that call and going like, please God, can you bring your crew over here? It's like, it's insane that they've touched every part of wrestling going through. And recently, Violent J was working for Big Japan doing moonsaults in Cork and Hall. And so it's like, to still have like this desire of like, we have to make the wrestling good and we have to make the program good, is crazy, because like he could easily rest on the laurels and be like, yeah, like I know everything about wrestling. I've seen it all. Also, Kerry and Ricky Morton being both people hired by Violent J at different points in their career. Like 20 years ago, Ricky Morton won a battle royal at Juggalo Championship Wrestling. And then last week he won a battle royal at Juggalo Championship Wrestling and put the biggest belt I've ever seen on in my whole life. It covered his whole torso. He said, I'm the fucking battle royal champion. I was like, you clearly are, man. We watched the show together in Spartanburg, me and Ricky Morton. He loves the clowns.
He's down with the clown.
He's been down with the clowns since day one. And George South, they keep hooking him up with cool Juggalo clothes. And so he's just like got a whole new wardrobe where like this guy's like a Southern preacher who's been working in wrestling forever, but he shows up decked out in the latest Juggalo trends.
Well, on top of, I mean, that is a good point that you mentioned that ICP has been in literally every major wrestling promotion there is. And I actually won't acknowledge AEW as a major wrestling promotion until Insane Clown Posse are a part of it.
Yeah, they sort of have to put the stamp on it, right?
But he just like he like just reads wrestling biographies constantly, Violent Joe, and watches his whole. Have you ever been to his house before?
I got to go to his house very briefly, and I want to say it's in the vlog I put out. He has a replica. I guess mine is a replica of his. He has a jacket that's almost identical to mine, that's black with the spikes, that I think he's worn before on tour.
Yeah, he has also a collection of every replica belt.
Yeah, he has everything.
He has a life-size Hulk Hogan statue.
I didn't see the life-size Hulk Hogan statue.
He's got like the wrestling arcade games, the actual like arcade things, and then his figure collection is crazy too. He loves wrestling. So
he said the only ICP things he collects are the action figures that they put out.
Oh, okay.
Like if there's anybody with action figures, he wants the ICP action figures. Everything else, he's like, I don't concern myself with keeping it, but if it's action figures, I'm keeping it. And I think that's awesome. Like he's just made his choice. Like those are the items I'm going to keep, because there's so much ICP stuff, and they've licensed out too to make other stuff. But also the jerseys they have on tour are like so sick.
Yeah,
it makes me want to wear Juggalo jerseys all the time.
Need to make Effy jerseys.
I know, but in this economy with these tariffs, what am I doing? Well, who's making them in the U.S.?
Nobody's making them in the U.S.
Yeah.
2 last questions for you to wrap up this show, all right?
Whoa, hold on. We're just getting started. We haven't even talked about my chickens yet, Ryan.
Okay.
Chicken update. Let me wrap that up. You met my chickens? How'd you feel?
I love the chickens.
You know those things that come out of their ass, eggs?
Their periods?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can eat it.
I can't.
I know, you're vegan.
Yeah, but I can't.
I was trying to bring that up.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to bring up
Stealth.
like, do you feel more vegan when you're around God's creatures, these beautiful chickens?
I feel more godlike.
Yeah.
Not just more vegan. I feel closer to God.
Yeah, because he made them for us to eat.
Well, that's not true.
In the Garden of Eden, what do you think was the forbidden fruit?
You think it was eggs?
Rimming. Could have been eggs.
Egg tree?
They can't. Well, did it say it was from a tree?
Yeah, the tree of the knowledge of.
I think it was oral sex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think.
Now the thing is that Satan is a snake in that story, right?
A serpent.
A serpent, right? So in the Jungle Book, Ka is a snake, and what does he love to eat? Eggs.
Oh yeah.
So I'm backing up your theory.
I was going to say kids, but that's.
Oh no, he doesn't eat the kid.
But Mowgli.
Yeah.
Oh Mowgli, you must learn to be a fire runner.
Is that
right?
From the movie?
Didn't he have to like make fire because the men were going to make fire?
Well, I know he hung out with King Louis.
You gonna be like me.
And then Baloo from the Robin Hood movies in that.
Is it the same one? And is it also the same one from Rescue Rangers Down Under? Rescuers Down Under?
No,
Rescue Rangers?
Okay, wrong. Tailspin.
We've mixed this up.
Tailspin.
Peter likes you already. We just had this discussion and I can't remember it. We have to put a pause. I have to pee so fucking bad. Okay.
I don't want to cut this episode, so we have to have a conversation.
Oh, hey, let's talk. So, Peter, tell me about your experience with, because I know, I mean, I'm a fan of the show. So I'm a Peter fan as well, as you would imagine. And but I know so little about you. I think that the only thing I know that you're into is like witchcraft and wizardry. So to find out that you know who Austin Carlisle is and from first to last is fascinating to me. So do you know what the first like band shirt was that you ever got?
Ooh, first band shirt. That's a good one. The actual answer would be like a probably knockoff Led Zeppelin license from like Kohl's.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to be cool as an African moving over to America and not necessarily knowing that Led Zeppelin isn't really cool in, the early 2000s. It's more like Blink-182 and Linkin Park, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, was Seether popular where you lived? Because they're from Africa.
Are they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
African Americans.
Interesting. I'm going to do the thing that I am really annoyed when people do to me. South Africa?
Yes, of course.
Okay. But no, it actual would be like at a show, probably the first Warped Tour that I went to with Under Oath playing.
Okay.
I caught them 2 days before they dropped off the tour because they said they were getting bullied by NoFX, but I guess I don't really mind when Christians get bullied that much.
Well, and like every other Christian band, they later renounced Christ.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, yeah, we say fuck now.
Yeah.
We're edgy.
This is actually my favorite thing in the world to talk about. Do you know who the band Gideon is?
I know the name.
Okay.
They're like heavy, right?
I'm sure they'd love to hear you say that.
Okay.
But, I mean, they're heavy set gentlemen for sure.
Okay.
From Alabama. And their whole career, I mean, they've been around for like 15 years. Their whole career, their gimmick and everything, so much so that their band is named Gideon after a gentleman in the Bible, was like, God rocks, right? Jesus rocks. Hey, we're going to have a prayer circle before the show. Hey, after the show, if you want to talk to us about God, please do it, okay? So that didn't work out for them for a while. They tried it for like a decade, being the lesser Ghost Inside metalcore from Alabama.
Okay.
So they did this press tour during the pandemic to let everyone know, hey, we don't believe in God anymore, okay? Which is like funny, but also, okay, I get it. That was your whole identity. It is good to like let people know. So then they put out this song that's like this wannabe nu metal like echo scratch DJ thing where they use the word bitch. And I was like, oh, you guys don't actually care about God, you just really wanted to say the word bitch.
Yeah.
But you could have just done that. You didn't have to do this like thing.
Yeah.
But then they also, I think that same song or a different song was like making fun of Christians too. But it's like, well, that was you. So that also didn't work out for them, so much so that you still don't know who they are. So after that, what they tried was they were like, oh, you know what is even bigger now than the nu metal thing is country music.
Oh, God.
So now they wear a cowboy hat all the time.
Oh, God.
And they sound the same, but you will not see the singer without a cowboy hat on now. But you also won't be able to find a picture of him with a cowboy hat on from before like 2 years ago.
Right.
And there's plenty of pictures of him because they've been a band forever.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Peter. This is what I'm getting at. This is what this long diatribe is for, is you know what they forgot about country music? Lucy knows what I'm talking about. Country music fans love what? God. You got to come back to the church, Gideon. We need you back in God's graces because that's the missing link. You can't like NASCAR and not like Jesus.
Yeah.
So you did it in the wrong order.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
It is true. It genuinely makes me laugh.
That's so how unfortunate for them.
Yeah, but they are more successful than ever now, but they were also never successful at all. So good for them. And we wish them well.
I'm checking them out.
Yeah, check them out.
That seemed like a fun meeting. That seemed like a good little meeting.
Yeah.
Great story. I hope I don't want to deal with, I don't want to fight a Christian rock band.
You're
dude.
not going to have to fight.
All right.
I'm come for me.
Sure. That is, that was a good segment.
Thank you.
What was the first time you saw ICP?
The first time I saw ICP, wow. I'm not really sure exactly when
Have you gathered?
I went to the gathering when it's like this week-long thing now. Also, I just remembered the first time I saw ICP.
Okay.
But this week-long thing now. It used to just be a day or two.
Right.
And that's more tolerable for me for anything.
Yeah.
Even like WrestleMania, the first time I went to WrestleMania,
yeah.
I was like, by the end of it, I didn't like wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
And that's carried on to this day. But the first time I saw ICP, Amazing Jekyll Brothers Tour, 1999,
Wow.
Biohazard was the opening band.
Wow.
Coal Chamber was the opening band, but they got kicked off and replaced by Mindless Self-Indulgence.
Yeah, that's a different age, different time.
That is the golden age.
Yeah. Okay. What was that guy's name?
Jimmy Urine.
Okay. I think he's done.
Oh, he's toast. He moved to Australia
Oh, because it got
to escape some.
some claims.
Well, because I don't think he was allowed to be in the same room as those newer ICP fans we were talking about.
Yeah, you can't. There's teens here,
Right,
sir.
correct.
You gotta go. So it was good though. It got you addicted.
I was into it.
Was
yeah.
there Fago?
Oh, yeah. There's been Fago
Forever.
since I can remember.
I am honored to be a part of the Fago system now. It was fascinating. We watched the Swamp Fest documentary that Channel 5 just put out as a group.
Channel 5, Andrew Callahan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's made some reparations.
He also repurchased All Gas No Brakes.
Yeah. From Mark Cuban. I don't know. I made that up. It seemed. Who owned it?
I believe Home Box Office owned it.
Oh. Wow. They own everything.
Mm-hmm. I could be wrong. It's
I'm
never happened before.
I'm excited to do more of these Juggalo shows.
Yes.
It's very fascinating to me. And I'm excited to live on a bus again. That was interesting. I
Well-
don't think it was good for my health.
No, it can't be. But what was your favorite moment of that first run that you did? What is something that stood out to you? This is like the biggest takeaway from that Juggalo tour.
I got to meet Violent J's dog.
Okay.
I know this doesn't sound like a big thing, but it's a very good dog.
Yeah.
Pitbull named Atari
Yeah.
can jump as high as a man. It's a jumping pitbull. You can train the pitbulls to jump really high. And seeing the old school Fago machine in the studio was very cool. I don't know, just seeing them on stage is great. And also seeing that there's something to be said about put on the fucking clown makeup and do your dance. If you're not always feeling up to it, there's 3,000 people that came here to see you be a clown. You should just be a clown.
Uh-huh.
That's what
A wicked clown.
a wicked clown. This wicked shit will never die.
Uh-huh.
It was very cool to hang out with Ouija Mac.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I don't want to share too much of our deep friendship now, but we really did come together and learn a lot. He gave me a cheese popsicle. It's cheese with a spoon in it, and you just eat the cheese.
That's
One of
not
the last
vegan.
days of tour. It's not vegan. It's delicious.
Okay. But he's
Very
vegan.
good. I don't think he's vegan. Is he?
Apparently, I mean, we might be breaking news.
Okay,
You might be sharing too much.
I don't. He's probably vegan.
Okay.
I don't know.
It was vegan cheese.
I ate the cheese.
Right.
It
He
was
didn't eat
given
it.
to me.
That's why he gave it to you.
Also, coconut Red Bull, underrated flavor.
And apparently, Violent Joe keeps it on tap.
He keeps it on tap. He had a lot of coconut Red Bulls.
Yeah.
And it's just they're not young men these days, and they bring the energy every night. It's very fun, and it makes doing the wrestling part of it very exciting because I do the wrestling, pretty simple. I know how to wrestle. I know the moves now, and I do that part, and then I get to just watch a concert.
And what's something you learned from that first experience that you'll do differently or better in this second round?
That I think that you should lean into the showmanship even when it feels a little corny on the surface. If you had described some of the things that are done at the concert to me, if you were guys, during my acts, you should hold an axe. I'd be a little too on the nose, right? My axe could be my microphone here.
Yeah.
But then you see it live, and then by night 4, you're my fucking axe, and he's holding the axe, and the fact that you can keep track of a thing on a whole tour, seeing the outfit switches was crazy. I just love that every night somebody's got to clean those suits and put them in the thing and reload them, because tomorrow we got to put those suits on and get them covered in Fago again and get rowdy, and the show must go on. The show must go on. That's what they say, right? The show must go on. That's the magic of the Juggalo life. And I think it speaks to you can hate their music, you can think they're trash, you can think it's all corny and they're all clowns and they're insane, but they've had staying power culturally for 40 years, and that doesn't really that's not a thing that happens anymore. Everybody's in and out. You remember Jason Derulo from the film Cats.
Oh, of course.
Jason Derulo.
I was gonna say
what happened to that guy? 3 years? That's all we got? Come on. Where's Neo? You know, he's got like 7 sister wives now. I'm just saying, like, there's things that culturally come and go very quickly. Rock bands, for instance, you know. ICP's always standing there. They're still there.
Not only that, and this is an underappreciated thing about them that even they, I think, don't appreciate based on their set list that I saw the other night that doesn't touch the last 25 years of their career, is they make even better music. Like, they are better musicians and artists now than they were even back. You know, it doesn't have the immediate novelty of the 80s stuff, so I get why it's not as. And also, I'm not that age.
Right.
So
they're not 20-year-olds throwing these tracks out anymore. This is.
But I would say that you know, when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, ICP, you know, I like them, but I get why you don't like them, and I wouldn't try to convince you to like them. And now when I listen to it, I was like, no, ICP, I like them, and you're kind of dumb if you don't.
I think also, though, there's the idea of, like, we don't need anybody else in our gang.
Okay,
sort of being the, like, the motive that I've read from ICP for so long of, like, even if I did like them, like, it does seem like a closed circuit thing. And then you go there and you're like, no, these are, like, brand new juggalos earning their wings.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like they're on the wings of an eagle.
Well, that's why I think they should maybe that would be what I would like to suggest to them is they do have all these newer fans. So some of those newer fans, their first album, instead of Great Malenko, might have been Fearless Fred Fury or whatever 5 or 6 years ago. So maybe give them a track off of that.
I don't know.
A track?
We'll see. We're trying to bully the correct set list into our favorite artists by becoming parasocial in their wings and whispering through the door at night. Hello. I don't know. I slept really good on that bus, though. Because it's just like a coffin.
Right.
I don't think breathing the air from the bus system was good for my, like, nostrils.
And sharing that close of a personal space with several other
but I love the smell of pee, and being in that thing felt like a coffin. And I've been trying to sleep in a coffin for years. I mean,
you've been doing everything right that you should be sleeping in one.
I should be sleeping in a coffin, but, like, as a vampire. All right, here's another idea that Peter thinks is a bad idea. I'm going to bring it up to you. So it's vampires, not poop Dracula, Peter. Vampires. They're vampires, but instead of blood, they have to drink fresh poop, but it has to be right from the colon. It can't be poop that you've already pooped. So they go around and they want to suck your butt because they stay alive eating the poop. They're vampires. They live forever.
Oh, yeah. Well, I hate that idea.
Because vampires are supposed to be disgusting, but blood's too sexy now. So we're like,
vampires are too sexy now, and especially eating ass is super sexy now. So I don't think that you're getting away from the problem.
Vampires. Yeah. I must have it fresh before it's oxidized. I am the vampire.
I like more like, you know how in Sesame Street there was the Count?
Yeah.
I like that idea, like something like, oh, maybe they need broccoli to survive. You know, like, let's teach the kids a positive lesson.
Like, instead of the Cookie Monster, he's the kale fiend.
Yeah, you know what's sexy?
I love dry kale.
Carrots.
Carrots, so good. Eat 100 carrots.
Yeah, it's
the problem is most children don't have access to fresh vegetables because of the Funyuns.
They don't have access to them because they're not demanding them like they are these prime energy drinks. Okay, they would have access to them if when they went to the store there was a temper tantrum in the produce section.
Grover told these kids to keep that prime on deck. Keep that prime. You gotta have prime for Super Grover, right? You think Elmo's not eating Funyuns?
I think Elmo's not eating Funyuns.
Elmo loves Funyuns.
Do you remember when the Cookie Monster was the Veggie Monster?
No, who would remember that?
You.
Did he have depression?
Yeah, it was sad.
It sounds horrible for the kids. I think we hit the pandemic and it was more like we're not going to teach kids to be healthy anymore. We're just sort of happy we haven't killed them. Like we're less about teaching them now and more about like, yeah, man, we could have really fucked this up even worse. It looks like. Yeah. So we should just be happy they're here. Give them some fucking cookies. Give the kids cookies. Do you have anything else you want to say to the people here?
No, I'd like to take back some things I said, but I don't think I need to add
Can't
anything.
take it back. You can't take anything back. Nothing goes back.
Well, the only thing I take back is Sunday. You know that.
What?
The only thing I take back is Sunday.
What happened on Sunday?
Taking back Sunday.
Oh, this is they
pun.
did Warped Tour, right?
I'm sure.
Or something.
Seems like they
I
would.
don't know this band. Here's the thing. We have to let the people know they need to rate the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't even say 5-star. I don't even give a shit if
Just
you do
rate
it
it.
5-star. Rate it. Because the algorithm is eating my ass out in
Okay.
a bad way. In a kicked out of Eden way. Go to weekendateffys.com because we care enough to make it easy. That's where our patreon.com/weekendateffys is. We bought the domain, so it would be easier.
And what are some of the perks on the Patreon?
All right, you're going to get extra episodes like our Cinema Minisode that we filmed right before this.
Oh, wow.
You're going to get early episodes, both episodes early. You're going to get the only access to my video vlog, which I put out when I feel like it. The last one was 30 minutes from the month of May.
Oh, wow.
A lot of chickens, a lot of juggalos. I think you might be in it. I don't know. I can't really remember.
I didn't sign anything, so I better not be.
Then we've got Only Cocks and Only Dogs, which is professional photographer Peter, who used to work in the wedding industry, is just now doing beautiful portraits of our life here and the chickens and the dogs and me holding the chickens or the dogs. Really beautiful content. And then you're also going to get weather reports, astrological weather reports of what's going on. Is Uranus and Venus?
And what is this, like $100 a month?
No. I mean, we've got
$50 a month?
We got membership starting at $3 a month.
$3 a month for everything you just said.
Everything. Well, most of it, but it
some
goes
of the
up from
things you
there.
just said.
Some of the things I said, it starts at $3. I think it's incredible, and really, I like to do this as a reminder. There's a lot of people who sometimes things happen. Maybe you were in a terrible accident and you're okay now, but you forgot to resubscribe. So sorry about your legs, but they're working. Go ahead and get that credit card and resubscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah,
because
link
Peter
that
puts in a
PayPal.
lot of hard work.
He does.
You know what I said when I started this podcast? If I ever have to do anything except for sit in this chair and talk to you, I'm fucking out. And Peter took that personally.
Yeah.
And now I'm not allowed to
It
touch.
sounded like a threat.
I'm not allowed to touch anything. Now here's something free for the kids. If you're like, man, I'm so fucking poor.
Yeah.
But I'm still paying for Spotify Premium to listen to podcasts. You can go to the Substack. weekendateffys.substack.com. What's that going to have?
Sandwiches?
It's going to have all my dates,
Okay.
all my news, pictures, recommendations of music, film, cinema, art, maybe something we like. It's going to have informative facts, and it's going to talk about sunset, sunrise, and the great beyond.
Oh.
That's free. weekendateffys.substack.com, and that comes to your email. You can sign up. It'll just come to your email. Like
Your electric mail.
Electrical mail.
I don't even have to go to my
You know,
post
like
box.
You know, like when tickets go on sale for a concert and they bother you every 10 days. This is like once every month, maybe. And it's got dates. You can come see me. Because if you're going, how do we even see him? Like if you work for WWE, you can just go to the website and they're like, oh, here's their dates.
Yeah.
And it's like not guaranteed you're even going to see those people, but you would never complain. But if you're asking how do I see Effy? Well, not only are the dates on my Instagram and my Twitter, they're also now on this Weekend at Effy's Substack that Peter so meticulously crafts, and it's beautiful. Just take it in for the kerning. The kerning looks good. You know about kerning?
I don't.
It's when the popcorn doesn't pop and it makes little kernels.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. That's not what that is.
Oh, what is it?
It's the spacing between letters to make print more readable and palatable.
And when did you learn this word?
I learned this in my second year graphic design class in college I was required to take that I passed, but I don't know how. But I did. I was hooking up with a stripper at the time. And that was, I haven't done that in a long time. Yeah. Since I stopped drinking, I'm not curious to what it's like to be with a girl anymore. You know, I used to get real drunk and I would, act not myself and make love to women.
Yeah.
And now that I've sobered up off the alcohol, those desires are out of me. I've been cured. I only want normal homosexual relationships now.
Yeah, as God intended in the Garden of Eden.
So weekendateffys.com, anywhere they can follow you, Real Ryan Rainbro.
Yeah, you can listen to my podcast, the Meep Meep podcast, where I...
It's exclusively about Roadrunner Records?
That's what I say, but it's not. It's also about Victory Records, Trustkill Records, Ferret Records, but mostly Roadrunner Records. You're probably thinking, oh, what bands were on Roadrunner? Any I've ever heard of? Yeah.
All of them.
Episode with Nickelback, did that just come out? Of course it did.
Wait, what? That's awesome. You talk about their whole discography?
We talk about one record at a time.
We're going out tonight, do it in the night.
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw. They were the theme.
Yeah, so was Shinedown, another episode I have.
Shinedown had that one song about leaving a light on.
Is that true?
I don't know. Is that true?
I don't know.
Well, you better leave a light on. Who sang that? Shinedown?
Sounds like them.
Sounds like Shinedown, right?
Next time I'm in a Marshall's
Or was it
dressing
Alter
room, I'll let you know.
Bridge?
Alter Bridge also on Roadrunner Records.
Yeah, of course. Let's go.
But also bands that aren't on at the grocery store. We got Sepultura, Fear Factory, Suffocation. Whatever you're in. Hey, there's something for everybody.
Fear Factory. It feels like that factory got a little too corporate, didn't it?
Well, and also Fear Factory played what event?
I don't know.
The Gathering of the Juggalos.
Did they?
Yeah.
I heard some rumors of. There's been a little complaint online about who's going to be at the Gathering. They haven't announced anything. Y'all just hold on to your fucking butts.
Hey, grab your butts.
I heard some rumors of some real classics.
Is that true?
Yeah, 100%.
Some real classics.
Yeah.
Because it's the Gathering of Legends.
This is the Gathering of Legends.
Yeah.
This is where everything changes.
Yeah.
I'll be there
again.
And just listen to the podcast.
Okay.
And one more thing I wanted to say to you. Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop.